First of all, a casino in Gettysburg is not a local issue. It's a national issue.
The locals are standing up because they are so insulted at what's being done, but I think it's also a national issue. Historians, tourists who come here feel that this is really a shrine.
People came from all over the country and gave their lives here. Gettysburg belongs to all Americans.
If the United States had not been formed in these killing fields, world history would be very different.
As a Pennsylvanian born and bred, I care a great deal about it. But we have to understand that Pennsylvania is the custodian of a national treasure, a national site. And once a treasure or site like that is vitiated, then it begins to erode.
We have to make sure that our children's children will be able to go to Gettysburg, be able to understand its painful and difficult and critical lessons without the interference of our commercial world.
You know, just the contour of the landscape, you can really feel what it must have been like when 150,000 men congregated in that one area.
You can see what the struggle was over, what the pieces of territory meant.
I'm looking at this for real, not reading the Gettysburg battlefield was such and such.
It's so serene there now, and it's hard to imagine the horrific sacrifice that was given on that field.
7,000 people dead at the Battle of Gettysburg. We can't just not care about that. We can't, ever.
I mean, this was a war that when people went into it, they expected the high probability of losing a limb or being killed. It must have had a passion to it that was absolutely incredible.
We tested the mettle of the United States, whether we were going to live out the true meaning of our creed. And it took a civil war, and it took a president coming back to Gettysburg, the great beginning of our second act in the history of the United States, to say, we have the possibility of a new birth of freedom. We really do mean that all men are created equal. Now watch us. And what we watched was the beginning of the American century.
It's such an incredible gift to the future, the freedoms that were bought here. I don't know why anybody would even attempt to change what it stands for.
I think the American people have, over a very long time, felt strongly that certain historic sites, hallowed settings, should not be violated by the graffiti of the almighty dollar sign.
I do think there is hallowed ground, and I think Gettysburg is it.
It's just a very, very moving place. It's like walking into a huge cathedral.
The way we treat these sacred places reveals our national character.
Those places that we cherish had better be defended because development is so swift, so efficient, and rather final.
The idea of having a casino here is being advanced as a way to exploit the brand that is Gettysburg. But Gettysburg's not just a brand. It is a symbol of our desire as a nation to perfect the promise of our forebears.
I think it would be a tragic mistake that if a place so special, so honored, and so visited, not for gaming and for fun, but for solemn purposes, were prostituted in search of a few bucks coming from a slot machine. And by the way, if you build a casino in Gettysburg, someone will build one in New York.
Arlington National Cemetery.
The Lincoln Memorial.
Ground Zero.
Why not put one right there around the Washington Monument? Just think, instead of having the reflecting pool, we could have gaming tables.
I have nothing against casinos, water parks, or theme parks. It's just that the places that we reverence, there aren't that many of them, and they need to be preserved in all their pristine quality.
I can't imagine there aren't other places for a casino that are more appropriate.
80% of my clients are in the criminal system because of issues of addiction. We are not a county that is equipped to deal with the increased addiction that I believe a casino will bring.
Gaming oftentimes provides a very short and usually not as large bounty to the local community. And after a year, maybe 2 years, 3 years at the most, that bounty disappears and you're stuck with a casino.
It's going to destroy many more jobs than it provides because it will destroy the backbone of the economics of this community, which is heritage tourism.
We need to spend a lot more time thinking about how to create jobs that actually produce something, not recycle money. And we need to find ways to provide jobs for people who should be seeing the future as one of hope, not one of getting rich quick.
It will change the nature of why people are there in Gettysburg. Then it changes the whole atmosphere of the community. And the community is part of the experience of going to that site.
And you have all the reenactors who come and try and teach people, and that would just be ruined because it will bring more city life and not that neighborhood-friendly feeling that you get when you're here.
The proposed location for this casino operation is basically a half a block from my front yard. I will have the dubious honor to see all of the lights and hear all of the sounds from the casino as I walk out on my front porch in the evenings.
Some people say that the casinos won't bother anybody because it's not on the battlefield. Well, I've studied the battlefield. I've walked the battlefield. They went all the way from York, Lancaster, Chambersburg. These were all places men marched. The wounded were dragged across the country roads in rickety carts with the blood falling out of the carts and onto the ground. So to say there is no battlefield there, no, there's no park there. Maybe it's not on the park, but it's on the battlefield.
Give us the buffer zone that permits Gettysburg to be Gettysburg.
This developer first suggested a casino 1 mile from hallowed ground in 2005, and it split our community right down the middle, and the Pennsylvania Gaming Control Board said no. Now, the same developer is suggesting a casino license 1/2 mile away from the Gettysburg National Military Park.
What do we care about? What do we love? What matters to us as a people? Is it just money? Is it just entertaining ourselves? No. We can show what we care about. We can show what matters.
Silence is acceptance, and you can't do that.
I hope that my fellow residents of Gettysburg will get up every morning and wonder whether they've made this a better community than the one they were lucky enough to be part of.
We too are part of history, and that we are going to be judged by history, just as those who went before us are judged by history. And how will they judge us on this issue?
To the members of the Gaming Board considering this decision who seem to be enthused about bringing gaming to the most hallowed piece of earth in this country, Gettysburg, what will be your legacy? What will you leave behind for your kids?
What will be your legacy?
And what will be your legacy?
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 Your legacy.
What will be your legacy?
What will be your legacy?
What will be your legacy?